entire feminist army will come at me for not being part of the Sisterhood.
I coined the name of the virus of Web3. It's called Bagatitis. But hey, I'll say it right now. I said it out loud. Prediction markets don't last.
We're all gonna go into dystopian hell together. Yeah. It's a love-hate relationship with this industry.
Welcome to the Recharge podcast, where we discuss timeless ideas about crypto, DePIN, and all things Web3.
I woke up at 5:15 this morning just to check the jobs report. Charmini, I feel you on the love-hate relationship. After seeing the job reports doing well, ready to relock in, because yesterday threw me off, I ain't gonna lie. You're just like, wow, I've been DCing this amazing token with utility, for a year, and you literally saw the whole gain vanish literally within a couple hours. So glad that's over, ready to relock in and get cooking.
Yeah, I was just looking at Chain Yoda's tweet. He was like, bull market I'm not worried about. I have tons of coins to sell. It's the bear market I'm scared about. What a obvious but scary thing to say. It kind of affects us all. But
yeah, right. Hey, Prakash, remind me of November of 2021. We all went through that, and I'm like, dude, there's no way that this, literally, remember in 2 weeks, ETH went from $4.5 to less than 3, and I'm like, oh, here we go again. They were right. This is a regular cycle, but yeah, I guess just be resilient in what we believe in, which is real world applications, and we'll be okay.
Tell us one belief that will likely get you canceled on Twitter.
But hey, I'll say it right now. I said it out loud. Prediction markets don't last. Calling predicting different than gambling is the funniest thing only in Web3, that this could be a real thing. I say I'm a celebrity, and there's a prediction market saying, well, Scott walk out in white. All I got to do is just hit my friend and be like, yo, we're going to make this market. Make sure you walk out in white. Again, it's I don't see, I don't care if the NYSE is sponsoring $2 billion with a parley market. When you are getting some of the, not all of them, some of y'all I love, but some of y'all are the biggest grifters in this space. And then now you have a badge as well pushing this, just shows me your bosses are using you guys as an excellent liquidity play when the token comes out. So yeah, that's my hot take. I don't believe in prediction markets. I do think it's another meta to respond to the tweets that were projected to me that didn't tag me. But yeah, I don't see this lasting more than a year at this rate.
To me, the hardest take that I'll probably think is, I think the Twitter growth strategies. I think they went viral for a bit. I think there's too much love and hate around it, but I think it's different for guys, it's different for girls. It's a different game there, right? I think people should do it. When I say do it, because they pay a price for it, right? Because when someone's followers goes 10x after a thirst trap, I'm gonna have to own it for life, right? It's internet is an ink, right? The same thing goes for the other folks too. You gotta keep tweeting bangers, and there's a certain cost to it. But I think at the end of the day, you gotta do what works on the algo. Crypto Twitter is there, whether it's crypto Twitter or not. I think the algo really works well for introverts who have a safe space here. Because the extroverts are actually killing it on Instagram, right?
Bigger piece that maybe will get me canceled, maybe it's just a spoken truth in the industry, I don't know, it's just that influencers are very terribly incentivized in this space, and maybe I've made it very deep very fast. This is one of the reasons why we end up in this cycle, because people don't have the time to learn the depth of technology that we are bringing forward, so they're deferring trust to someone, and then that deference of trust is very easy and cheap to buy. So that, I think, is the challenge that the thing that will get me canceled, or the thing that everyone should just see as writing on the wall.
Got it. So do you mean to say that the scale rounds and there's 50 ton of no man's land, then
No, but everything, right? All the badges that we talk about, this is all how we slowly contribute to the attention economy. We live in a world where founders now need to be reality TV stars on the timeline as well, and it's hello, I have a fucking company to build. So sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on your podcast, Prakash. So but yeah, it's just, don't you have other things to do other than try to game a social media? But we live in this world, we live in the world where dare markets just came out. which is like a Black Mirror episode, which is kind of the point and why what they're farming. So yeah, that's my take. We're all gonna go into dystopian hell together.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people are down bad, not just in terms of market. If you look at Cluely, they just pivoted from AI video cheating tool to note taker. Like, who would have seen that coming? They got the attention what they needed, and I think they're trying to figure out whatever the pivot they needed. And of course, then we saw Time.Fun doing a small pivot. They're saying that creator economy is kind of dead. I don't think they really believe that creator coins they're not going to scale, especially after shifting from base to Solana. I think so. People are hating on that. So some interesting thought experiments out there. So let's see how everything evolves. What's the worst mistake that you have made or seen in DePIN?
Prakash, we've talked about this before. I think people on either side, meaning say you're really good at Web3, a lot of these companies don't realize how big of a Web2 arm you have to have when you're deploying nodes that are real hardware and data grabbers in the real world, or you see a Web2 team not care about Web3 and think, yo, I got it all figured out. Watch me drop this token. Tokenomics are terrible. So there's, I would say 90% of DePINs lack one side and they don't recognize it, or they're too pompous enough to really, hire those killers. We always say that in Web3 to handle that and then let go. I don't know anything about marketing in Web2. Let me hire the best killer I can, and I'm going to let them do their thing, and I'm just going to oversee. What happens is, this Prakash, the founders want to get in there, and all of a sudden they want to say they're doing founder-led marketing, but they're just tweeting, and that all just goes back to the token that you're launching. And we talk about this a lot. 90% of DePIN charts look one way. So the biggest mistake I'm seeing is not recognizing the other side of the web, and then also stepping down your role to put other people in that position who are better suited to handle that side of the business for you.
That's fair enough. What about you, Shamini? I know you have a bit of background working on the DePIN category before it was even a term. So what have you seen? Was it like something in this cycle or last cycle? What is it that you have seen personally?
I saw a lot of things that we whiteboarded play out. Back in 2017, 2018, I was building a decentralized VPN. It's still around. It still works. Mysterium VPN. It's a global network of nodes, and it's found its own B2B fit, which is kind of what Scott is talking about. Yeah, like this straddling of two worlds. We had to take a while to meander our way to find it, but that's very easy to do when you raise 15 million in ETH very early on in 17, right? So there was time and space to experiment to get to a point where it was break even. This is how I met Savannah Scott. We worked together at Mysterium, and she now works at Wingbit. So I think it's a small industry of people who are diehard believers. I think we've been here for a while and we see the vision. Maybe we just need to make some Web2 friends. And Scott, I think you bring a lot of that value, yeah?
Get some real friends. Oh my god. Now it's getting Black Mirror or like Mr. Robot, how you want to call it. Yeah, I think the worst mistakes I see in DePIN is I see my own friends do it, right? There's this Twitter space happening week on week. It's the same people over and over. I kind of fear okay, it's going to become like 12 Angry Men. you have to think outside the space. It has gotten so much to a point that I was invited to a couple of them. I could not tolerate myself in that space. I just booted myself out. That's it. I didn't even think. And the other space, I spoke for a bit, then I realized that, okay, it's the same three guys who want to talk over and over. It's not even saying anything spicy, right? At least say something. When I see Scott there, I know there is going to be guaranteed 2 hot takes that is going to come. That's going to just flatten out at least a couple of people, right? The other folks are just 10 people, same thing over and over. I just drop with that, do a bit more roadshow, go outside a bit. I think that's the bubble.
They just want to agree, right, Prakash? And even me, I used to be on every, Prakash as my witness. Last year and a half, I wouldn't miss, I don't care whose Twitter space it was, if it was about RWA or DePIN, I was going. Any convention with a DePIN panel, DePIN day, DePIN night, sign me up. I'm the host, I'm the panel, I'll give the keynote. And what Prakash said couldn't be more true, and this really hit me at Denver. We threw a really great DePIN day, and I look in the crowd, and it's everyone that we already know already love, already have great relationships with. And for this is why I don't even like to say DePIN anymore. I felt like, when Masaria gave that coin, it kind of put us in this like box. And I feel like DePIN's really a real world application with real world assets. So that's how we should treat it, not pigeonhole it like we did to DeSci. Now there's DRIN and DPAI. Like, no, we don't need any DE before anything. Let's just call it what it is. It's EV charging. It's aviation data. It's VPNs. Why are we calling it a DRIN? It's a no, dude. Like, let's stop this.
Scott. Because token. Because
Yes,
token
yes,
must go up. See, like
yes.
that's
And that I guess that's the other spicy take. Charmini, I'll let you cook from here. Is the days of Web3 people that are very fluent with the tech and then making some kind of data collecting box and calling it a DePIN, those days are over. To anyone listening, making a shit coin that connects to some Shenzhen piece of hardware that me and Prakash saw it inside of a magazine before you ordered it. Yeah, those days are over. And it was unfortunate, like, we all had to learn as a sector that 90% of these were those type of projects. But I think that helps the D charges. Charmini, you mentioned Wingbits. I think that helps these kind of projects, GeoNet, really separate themselves from these kind of gimmicks with a shitcoin and hardware attached to it.
the DePIN space has massively matured, to be honest, because like I at Mysterium Network was like working with a developer on command line and was like, no man, we need a node interface so that the nodes can see their earnings. Yeah, even if it's like we need something, we need and it was Raspberry Pi setups. It was really early days, but I think every project goes through it in some format, like a V1, V2. And Prakash, I'm really curious, like, what your biggest mistake in the DePIN space has been.
Not much more of a mistake, it's more of a business curve, right? I think every project has their own business cards. The biggest risk that we took was unlearning the approach that other projects have done. So you're almost like in a no man's territory. I mean, I'm going to be blunt, right? Trump laying the tariffs is almost like a blessing in disguise. The whole era of Shenzhen line manufacturing is going to die, and it happened at the right time. We had, we don't want to throw shades, but that was a business card we had. The moment that was done, we unlearned everything. We made sure we scaled through manufacturing part. The moment we did that as a huge unlock, we didn't have to worry about hardware anymore. We still had to enter the business for a bit, right? Otherwise, they don't take you seriously. So the biggest unlock for us to double down on software layer monetization, that's it. Because you edge more on that, you have token end, you also have the advantage of showing the revenue side for an average end user, right? So that was the biggest unlock for us, and I think you got to adapt. If I had to do it all over again, I'll still probably make the same mistake because battle scars right now are better than way later. That will probably blow up your startup. I think slightly got serious there, but I think we had some hot takes finally. But shifting gears a bit, what is the biggest win that you're seeing for this space? I know there is this whole notion that crime is pretty much legal now in crypto. Crypto's gone mainstream, which is like the opposite of crypto being early. But there's still a long way to go. But what's the biggest W that you've seen in the space, DePIN projects in general?
I think like for me, it's really seeing people leave the traditional echo chamber into new use cases, not to blow hot air up your ass, Prakash, but projects like yours, just like we've said, like the few legitimate projects that are crossing that divide between Web 2 and Web 3. I think that's the biggest win, is that these things are happening now. There are enterprise deals that are happening now, and they are actually happening in relationship to decentralized communities that are making money. That's the biggest win. Yeah, we did kind of did. We're getting there.
Yeah, basically revenues being important. I mean, as long as you were able to make some revenue, that's a good sign. If not, yeah, I guess the infra fatigue is catching up with the industry for sure.
Same thing, Charmaine, not to keep blowing smoke up these same three projects, but I just really want to stand on how proud, we are as a space of the D-Charges, the GeoNets, the Wingbits, and I love seeing them all work with each other as well, right? The parallel markets between these three companies. It's really showing that, like Prakash, in Silicon Valley, it's always about pivoting. And instead of worrying about, the devices and all, we really found the stride with the the with this partner I don't want to name yet, and it just makes what we're doing at D-Charge easier for us because now we don't have this big worry that I don't want to call any of the projects out, but hardware in DePIN has been literally a bottleneck for, I would say, 99%, of projects. So to see not only D-Charge but Wingbits, get their device with GeoNet, that you could double mine, and I just see the future where there'll be three to four kind of data sets being collected on all of these three devices that we're talking about. And I'm just really excited to see the more of these enterprises that also see the CapEx and OpEx almost being zero and wanting to use these in these particular sectors.
100% agree with that. I think it's pretty much borderlines on like how do people look at PMF, right? PMF is not about trying to be stubborn on a certain market fit. It's more about like how fast can you pivot, right? I think that's what it's the biggest thing we gotta all learn. Shifting gears, I think we'll get to the next section a bit, but a very short answer now. Like, what do you think can go really right in 2026, or what can go really wrong?
We'll start with something wrong. The one thing I've learned about crypto since being here since 2018 is everything can go right. Everything on your products can go right, whatever you're doing. And then there's a FTX or there's, the liquidation event from before. So that's always my worry is, even if everything's right on government and compliance, everything is right on the tariffs, like, all these things that we wanted the last couple of weeks, all these acts passed, and then we still had the liquidation event. So I would say that was always my worry is like, everything is going fine, but then that happens. For things going right, I really think, again, we're going to see DePIN take off, and it won't be called DePIN anymore. It'll just be a real-world application in that particular space. And obviously, without name dropping, there are some mega enterprises, coming in and partnering not only with D-Charge, but some of the other guys that we named. And I feel like DePIN's a year behind RWA in the Web3 side. And now, like, same thing with RWAs, all the BS, like kind of, we're going to be the next eBay for RWAs. They all kind of washed out, or we're tokenizing a whole house. Yeah, right. Those are kind of out. And then now you're seeing the tokenization of credit, of construction funds. Yeah, I think DePIN is right there, right behind. And we shaved all the bad layers of the onion that we don't want anymore. And the real project can now strive. And then also on the blockchain level too, you're seeing 5 or 6 chains starting to be, these are the chains for RWA, DePIN, and any kind of real world application. So super excited to see that as well with their support.
I'll be really quick on this one. My what could go really wrong in 2026 is we become, as I mentioned, a dystopian world where we dare people on different streams to do strange things, Mr. Beast style, and it just becomes this very Black Mirror-esque situation because I just painted it. What goes really well is true return to, and maybe people will call me naive for this, but return to crypto native ideals, yeah, like the reason we came to build and the reasons that like Web2 companies will seriously consider serious projects, meaning the philosophies that you bring alongside with actual capability to do business. So that's a real win if purists learn how to PMF.
Good one. Yeah, I think PMF is a nice word. I think Silicon Valley mentality can be a lot helpful for a lot of founders. Failure should be kind of encouraged because this is whole. I'm gonna be honest, right? Like Asian founders have a bit of stigma. Oh my God, if I fail, that's it, the end of my career. No, you gotta think of what can you achieve in 10 years in a matter of few years, right? I think failure should be encouraged. PMFs happen. If not, of course, the venture funds are gonna make money out of you. Like they sell your company, sell it to parts. That's always gonna be part and parcel of it. But I think the token economy, it kind of allows people to take bolder bets. I think if you see more of that, I think that's good for the space. If not, do it again, all over again. I think this one favorite quote of mine, which Raj said on our podcast, Raj Gokul of Solana. So he said, even if I was 86 years old, I'd still be building my 80th company, doing all over again. And nothing else. So you can imagine he's a crypto billionaire. Like he doesn't need to do that, but he's still like kind of hooked onto that. So yeah, I think all in all good stuff that's happening. On to a very interesting section. We're gonna react to hot takes.
Oh,
okay.
I mean.
Oh, there we go. Twitter growth strategy. Yeah, honest truth. What's your reaction?
Yeah, I mean, I think life is just a really long time, and if you take short-term hacks like, it's just what, like, everyone's playing their own game, so I'm not one to judge because like the entire feminist army will come at me for not being part of the sisterhood. But I do think that there is a world where I can build a audience around the fact that like I can explain technology in a great way instead of like do this. But I hope I don't know, like I also did spell out dystopia to you guys, yeah, so maybe this is just a woman who really understands the moment we are in and is willing to do the things that needs to be done.
I think, yeah, maybe people are just testing. I mean, of course, they knew what they were doing, but I think they're just testing out the algorithm because Nikita, I think he just said he still holds true today. I think that's what brought it back in the timeline. I think people like to take Nikita's case off all the time, and he's pretty active. And he even gets angry tweets from Elon, and people are making prediction markets that, oh, is he gonna get fired? But of course, I think the clever segue is what happened, and I think I already shared my opinion on this. The clever contrast is that actually there was one meme that one of the mutual fellow friend, he tweeted it out, and he barely has like 2,000 followers, and Elon Musk retweeted it somehow. I don't know how it got there, but it was all about the AWS going down, and it got like 24 million impressions, and it was automatically in the monetization category. Yeah, so I think different strategies could work, but yeah, I think we're never going to see the end of this, but I think it's
Sex
pretty
sells,
cool.
baby. Sex sells is what it is.
It's pretty interesting take from her for sure. But yeah, we'll get to this next one.
I'm laughing at Kobe's comment because it's like, again, it's just like, man, I don't want to get canceled from Coinbase for my clients, but it's like ever since Base came out, it's just like they changed metas more than their underwear. Like, I remember their whole, Prakash, you remember their whole DePIN thing? We're going to make a smart city. Every DePIN's going to build on Base. Then it was every creator, Coinbase is porn. Coinbase is, remember that whole rant?
Oh yeah.
And it's just like, dude, it's like another thing, one of those tentacles. You're just like, but I'm used to it now at this point, especially with Jesse. Jesse's just Jesse. And so I just kind of just like, yeah, there we go. And then I take my boat back to RWA Island. I go, I've seen enough for today on Twitter. And, a lot of people have like, hey, Scott, your engagement, you don't post no more, you don't tweet. You only tweet angry things. And this is why.
Someone predicted this as they're like, there's no way this whole thing is happening. He probably sold Echo, and nobody took that tweet seriously, and that's exactly what happened. Yeah, when for the first 24 hours, it was like a very good gimmick what Coinbase kind of tried because people were trolling Brian Armstrong for like whole 24 hours just because he could take it. But it was pretty interesting one. What do you guys think of it?
Scott, go for it. I was just like, did he know about this when he was tweeting about not being a billionaire? Like, did he know?
It's
Like, 'cause
obvious.
there was very close.
There's no way Kobe is doing this without like months in conversations.
Exactly, right? So that's why I'm like, what is this? What is this psyop? So that was funny. But anyway,
Yeah, I think it was all like, kind of reveling in that moment maybe as he was closing to it. Oh, this one's price sheet of 200 plus.
Yeah, I mean, so I'll just be, all three of us know these exist. It just gets, this is what I don't like about crypto Twitter. You can literally say, yo, your best friend's a scammer. He's rugged a meme coin. He rugged NFTs in 2021, and before that, he rugged ICOs in 2017. And this is a virus. I coined the name of the virus of Web3. It's called Bagatitis. And it doesn't matter if that scammer that me and Prakash are warning you about, he's not a scammer. and shout out Zach XBT. I know a lot of people don't like him. He's like one of the last guys left trying to hold it down and get these goofies out the way. If there's some bag attachment to that scammer, CoffeeZilla, I got to get one of those shirts. No one cares. Look at how many scammers came back from like a year ago, didn't change their name. Hey, Sharmini, you remember this in like 2017 and 2020? If you were a scammer, you came back with a new account, or remember everyone thought Beanie was our chick? Like, you at least change, hey, yo, I'm this new guy. No one cares anymore. I could scam a coin from Pump Fun, take a break for a month, just jump on my account again and do it all over and nobody cares. So, yo, Zach, keep doing the good work, man, and hopefully crime won't be legal for forever.
I'm shocked that we're still shocked. I'm shocked that the government doesn't know. Like I'm like, It's on Twitter. This is not the first
Hey,
time.
Sharmini, get.
The first
Hey,
time.
Sharmini, get. How do you think? Um, I forget his name. When I worked at OpenSea, he got caught uh, putting things on the front page and selling them. He got 4 years for that. He has to be punching the air at what people are getting away with right now, and he's sitting in prison. And I'm not defending him, right? Like what he did was wrong too, but
Mm-hmm.
seeing the meme coin scammers, all these things that have happened in the last 4 years, and for
And
him to get
Luke Belmar
oh,
is like he is in public consciousness as a person who is representing our industry. The people
meanwhile
represent.
being sued for 20 million right now as we speak, Charmy. I'm sure you saw that. He's literally getting sued for the company he locked everybody out of, and people still, GM Luke, you're the GOAT. Yeah, I used to say in 2021 on my Twitter spaces, oh, in the future, no one's going to be this stupid. There's people like me and Prakash and Sharmini here. If anyone tries to do any of this, like dumb stuff, we'll be here to protect you. I feel like the space got even dumber.
There is this whole rumor that okay, Solana paid 25 million or 50 million to get this deal done, and we came in between. That's not true. That you don't know anything. And the other person is like, you don't know anything. You're a mid-tier manager at Solana Foundation. He was like, he got shot for no reason. So Webu's also one of our angels, right? I had a chat with him recently, and it's like he totally embraced the whole attack on him.
I mean, I hope I'm not violating any NDAs here. Like, I can't remember if I am or not. But if we're gonna beat up Solana about paying somebody, you guys better bring the pitchforks and beat up every other chain. And I'll say this: a lot of the Web2 companies you saw come and partner with a chain or a company, there was money involved. It's just the way it is right now. This is definitely, a systematic thing where you have to pay to play, just like the music business. You think your favorite artist is getting on that hot Spotify list because he has good music? Hell no.
Time is a flat circle, hey. Like so it's really funny because I think it's across all industries and I don't know why people get their panties in a twist about it because honestly like proof of concepts within enterprise deals and deal flow and how business works it's just business and I think retail gets very emotional about it because it's an ecosystem and there's a token but this is how business is done. There's like a very risk averse party on the other side of the deal, yeah, so that like it's really I think it's just a matter of retail finally seeing like behind the curtain in the financialization of everything.
And real quick, it helps the company that was joining, right? They've had their own issues in Web2. So I mean, for me, it was a good match.
Exactly.
Hopefully Solana can end up winning them over. But again, the future is multi-chain, right? Like we all know this internally. It's just I think a lot of retail doesn't realize that yet as well, which is a whole different topic.
Stupid tribalism, keeping like it's
Yeah.
Tempo, payment plus blockchain, Stripe and Paradigm.
Yeah, one of those unstoppable M&As. Like this is it's funny. It's so funny. I need to really go into my audio files. I literally said this in 2021 when JP Morgan had first spun up Onyx before it was Kinesis, that most of these Web2 companies, and this all goes back to, remember how companies, or people were mad at Solana for paying companies. A lot of these companies that got paid earlier by other chains were, cool, thank you, I figured it out. Why would I have my transactions on this chain? I learned everything. I could just spin up my own chain on Avalanche or, my own chain on Ethereum and do whatever I want with it, with this Web2 company. I don't need to onboard any Web3 users when I already have 40 million to 100 million, users myself. So, yeah, good luck to anyone going against Tempo. It's going to be a rough ride for you.
Yeah, I think that a lot of builders completely underestimate the distribution mode, and the future is the blur of companies who can. We're going in circles. Yeah, it's the people who can do business with Web2 who have the distribution that will actually bring Web3 rails into the real world. My mama is not going to remember her 12 words. It's just as simple as that.
That is true. That's totally true. Yeah, I think there is this whole sidetrack about I think they had some of the best talents who worked at Ethereum Foundation, and Bankless went on a meme and said meme ran saying, "Oh, you abandoned Ethereum Foundation. How can you do this?" That was fun to watch. This is what Nikita had to say about. He said, "I think Twitter should not be paying out creators enough. he said they should not be paying. And within a day, Elon tweeted saying, "No, we don't pay the people enough. YouTube does a better job at creator payouts." And Nikita just froze there. And then there was this whole poly market prediction market. Is Nikita going to get fired by end of the year?
So
But
it's
the
funny
trend-
that you say that, right? Because I was actually doing a deep dive into different creators who are actually monetizing. And the people that are making money on Meta, they're making money on TikTok Shop. So Twitter, and it's insane money. Like, it's not like the creators' payouts of X at all. It's like with my business. But from my study of like Web2 creators who've really made it, like, it sounds like a lot of them got their starts in Snapchat and then moved very much into like the TikTok or the Instagram world, and they're really dominating either short format or long format on YouTube. They're printing
It,
money basically.
it's not a Charmini threads. Threads, my threads check every month is more than all my Twitter checks combined.
Oh, crazy.
And I'm not even I'm not I have like 3,000 followers. And that's the point of, if you just look on the Web2 side, right? Let's just, Web3 is out of it. Just in creator payouts, X is dead last by so much. It's not even funny. When I see my friends or constituents or acquaintances on X post their check, I just laugh in Web2. Like, I know that's not a real thing, but like, I like, as a joke, I'm laughing in Web2 laughter. A tier 6 creator on Instagram or Meta, like you're saying, Charmini, makes way more weekly than I will say the top 5 creators on X, and we really even want to spank them more. There's tier 2 rappers, right, like EBK Jabo, where one clip from their clip farm gets more shares than the almighty thread guy combined for the month. But for some reason, we celebrate this pond of influence that gets nowhere. And I do want to give credit to Roberto RPN, who ran the Metaverse account first, right? It was very Web3 based, but now he made a solo account, made it all emerging technology, and now he's having a podcast with Zuck. He's sponsored by Meta. He's sponsored by Ray-Ban. Nobody in Web3 is getting any of those type deals, and Roberto has literally gave the blueprint of how to be a Web3 creator and pivot, not completely, but to AI, military tech, whatever emerging tech, and then tell that story. And that's why Roberto is the #1 tech, creator on Instagram now. He literally gave the blueprint and nobody follows it. So it's really mind-blowing that people want to just be the coolest guy in the pond. But me knowing that, a lot of these creators try to go in the Web2 world, failed, and come back to get that money back in the pond again, which we're seeing now.
Because it's so much work, Scott. I think when you spoke to me about this last we caught up was, you said you're competing against Taylor Swift, and you are competing against Taylor Swift. You're in the same mindshare bucket as Taylor Swift, and then you really need to. I'm experimenting with Instagram now. It feels horrible, so please follow me because I have 5 followers.
Oh yeah, send it to me, Sean. I got you.
But I'm really feeling that having to get more performative, actually deliver it in a way that a 5-year-old understands.
No, for sure. It's the big dogs. This is what I tell everyone. You all want to be a Web3 creator, want to be a Web3 creator, but you're going to get a Web3 check. And then unfortunately, big companies in Web3 are paying a ridiculous amount that they would never get in Web2, the bigger guys. So why leave? If I go to this bigger pond, like you're saying, Charmini, and I can't get it right, and my numbers there are only going to get me $5,000 a month. Well, shit, I could get, my little 10 million impressions on X, and I'm going to have Binance pay me $100,000 a month because I could do that here. And then you have this conundrum that everybody's stuck in. Going back to the girl with the selfie, this is what people see. Oh shit, this guy's getting paid $100,000 just to be in this same pond. I'm gonna do it too. Or this girl's taking a selfie and getting 1,000 likes. So shit, that's what I gotta do too.
That is so depressing.
Yeah, I think my contrarian belief here is that even though I don't use that a lot, I think Farcaster is a sleeping giant. Mainly purely because they still haven't spent a lot of money. They still have a ton of money waiting to kind of deploy. At least this is what if I believe what Dan Romero says. I think that's like they still are able to make micro incentives. A lot of stuff that's been happening here. And of course, you have this whole base trend happening in Twitter as well, right? I think they have a dual edge advantage, and it'll be really interesting to see if they kind of take off and see where it goes. But of course, the only con they have is it's too much base centric. They did try some sort of integration, but nothing kicked off for a bit. Have you guys tried out Farcaster anytime?
Yeah, I did at first, but it was just like another one of those things where it's like, yeah, it just kind of just slowed off, the whole load. And but I think with the right partnerships and the right people, and then the right Web 2 North Star
Yeah.
for
Definitely.
whether I don't want to say KOL influence, I think it could, like, you get NBA YoungBoy on there,
That's what
his
I'm
fans will
saying. Can
do
we get
anything he says. So
can you
I
get
don't get
can we
why.
get speed on it?
Yeah,
Can we get speed live
exactly.
streaming on Farcaster? Can we get
Neon, we can get Neon to stream on there. Like, but again, this goes back to that original question, Prakash, about if you're a Web3 founder, and yeah, you got some Web 2 connects, but like Sharmini said, reach out to iSpeed's manager. Reach out to, I mean, if you can't get Kai Sanat, I get it, he's hard to get. But there's Neon, there's DDG, there's all these other people that I know you're not contacting them, because I would get some of those contacts and know that you're at least trying to get no one, because they see the price. They go, oh, fuck. It's going to cost you 6 figures. And
Yeah.
a lot of Web3 founders end up getting stuck on the monetary value instead of the real value that's going to come. Like Sharmini saying, Farcaster brings on NBA YoungBoy. Oh my God. Like that, you would have every 14 to 22-year-old, like, look at the concert. As much as people made fun of that concert, that worldwide concert, he made the second most money after Taylor Swift. And he was
Great.
been on house arrest for 2 years. So imagine now this kid is off house arrest and he's touring. He's just gonna have more clout and more people to come. So for me, yeah, everybody wanted to see like Taylor Swift to come to it. I would love to see somebody do something with YoungBoy, not a token, right? Not a NFT, just some kind of technology. We bring
brand
him in
partners?
and his community and his users,
We need
and
to
boom, you have them.
we need to get into culture. We're not like the Web3 culture and the rest of culture are like encounter. The artist meld did not really happen.
It didn't. It didn't at all. And it was just because, like, look, we try to bring the Damien Hirst in. From the art world, we try to bring in some of the biggest musicians, but management gets in the way, a token gets in the way. It's always the same
Input.
kind of, the blockchain or the VCs who get involved are forced. And shout out to Waka Flocka. I know he started with the meme coin, but now he's pivoted to the utility. Is going to be half of his album sales are going to go to split royalties.
Oh,
So
nice.
it's a start, like, obviously I'm not a big fan of royalty splits because it gets tricky out of the country, out of state, giving the rights away, but
Mhm.
it's a start. So, if we can get these more entertainers, especially on the tier 1 level, just to use the technology, whether it's Telegram stickers, I think, that makes it more of a, don't just come here to 100x. There's other things that you can do in Web3 than just buy a token and expect it to go up.
I think that kind of is a very great segue, mainly because I want to round off the episode with, let's say if someone's curiously listening to this episode and they don't know anything about crypto, what would you pitch to him? Like, what are the 3 zero friction actions that he could do to go from curious to confident in this space, and they can do something week on week? What are three things that someone can do? Maybe Shamini can start.
So it really depends, right? I think there's so many different entry points into crypto. Like, I am a money oriented and motivated person, so I found my entry point through DeFi, and that was my unlock because I was like, oh wow, okay, I get it. Like, I can I can do this and I can ping it here and pong it there and like loop it here, and this is amazing. So you need to find your unlock moment in whatever it is, like whether it is InfoFi, whether it's DePIN, whether it's RWA. Like, when you get that moment where you're like, I'm a sovereign individual and this technology just completely frees me, and now I get why I have to like really guard these 12 words. That, I think, is what you should search for, that spark. Actionably, like, get off a centralized exchange and go on chain, create a wallet if you don't have one, and then go explore from there, really, and go find that spark. It loops back to that.
Yeah, I would almost piggyback the same kind of like, for me, I was in the music industry, right? And so a lot of my friends from the music industry, Wookie, who's a platinum DJ, Illa, who works at Yuga Labs now, for many years. A bunch of us, were like, oh, is there some kind of music lane using this technology? Obviously, I've spun and pivoted way off of that, but what Sharmini's saying, that's what made me believe And oh shit, like imagine, speaking of NBA YoungBoy, imagine, buying fractions of something that he had 5 years ago and what that would be, not only as like a fan, but how would that be as an investor on that growth, spurt with them? And that was what kind of made me go, okay, well, shit, there's tokenization now. And then that's what made me pivot into something, okay, this is my main belief. So I would literally, for the actionable, stick, like, what do you do in real life? Are you a garbage man? There's voluntary recycle credits. Are you into aviation? Are you into EV charging and Tesla? There's D-Charge. Where I would say when we all started, there wasn't many options like that, right? So I mean, it was DeFi, it was RWA, didn't even have a name yet, so it was like our NFTs, fractionalization of things, and accessibility. That was pretty much it. But now every sector, from Web2, from TradFi to tokenization of funds to garbage, there's something in blockchain for you. And I would say start there, and we'll stick with the garbage man. If you come from the garbage industry, who better suited than you that would know how this technology could benefit the sector that you come from? So my whole thing is, wherever you come from, start there and, learn from the tentacles and go from which one you want to go to from your origination, what you do in life.
Yeah, I really like those perspectives. I think it boils down to like being authentic. You can just do things. I think that's always been the case for like whether it was 10 years back or even now. I think that holds true. I think just being curious and being very relentless can get you somewhere.
And last thing, be non-transactional. You don't always have to do everything for a fee, which I can't stand in Web3. It's like, network to network. And if it goes somewhere cool, and if you're new and you believe in something like, yo, dude, I really love what this particular, I love what Ocean is doing, right? You just mentioned Ocean. Start tweeting about him. Reach out to the founder. Hey, I love what you're doing. Hey, anything I can help out on? Can I do a retweet for you guys? Whatever that is. Hey, look at this thread I wrote, on LinkedIn and X, and watch that compound in that particular protocol, and watch how interwoven you can get into something like this, being non-transactional, and then being non-transactional always equals a transaction. So I feel like a lot of Web3 people always want that, oh, dude, I can't do nothing unless you give me the 10 grand up front. And then it's kind of like what you're saying, Sharmini, with the KOLs. It's like an expectation, and then it kind of like burns out. Why are we paying a Discord manager $7,500 a month? They would never get that in Web2, right? So yeah, be non-transactional. It's okay, and you will always get rewarded in the future in some way. Maybe it's, hey, I helped Sharmini out a year ago. Now she needs an advisor for this new company, and she's calling me. Boom! Now it's transactional a year later. So